Saiva Pedagam once again. So in this episode we're going to look at another thevaram from ஞானசம்பந்தர். This thevaram starts as Veṇkāṭu nuthalaanum, Veṇkāṭum kaiyanum. As usual, I'm going to give a small details on where you can find this thevaram from the original text. This thevaram is placed at the in the இரண்டாம் திருமுறை, Padigam number 48, song number 1. So without a further ado, let's see how to sing this song, then get back to know the meaning. Bye. Veṇkāṭu nuthalaanum, Veṇkāṭum kaiyanum. Veṇkāṭu nuthalaanum, Veṇkāṭum kaiyanum. Veṇkāṭum uruvanum, Veṇkāṭum sadayanum. Veṇkāṭum uruvanum, Veṇkāṭum sadayanum. Veṇkāṭum மீசையானும், பயிர்காட்டும் புயலானும். Veṇkāṭum மீசையானும், பயிர்காட்டும் புயலானும். வெண்காட்டில் உறைவானும், விடைகாட்டும் கோடியானே. Veṇkāṭum மீசையானும், பயிர்காட்டும் புயலானும். வெண்காட்டில் உறைவானும், விடைகாட்டும் கோடியானே. Thirunyanasambanthar. Okay, that's how we sing the song. Now without a further ado, we'll just jump into the meaning. If you looked at ஞானசம்பந்தர்'s song, ஞானசம்பந்தர் sings the first 3 chapters of 12 Tirumurai 1, 2, 3. In these 3 Tirumurai, ஞானசம்பந்தர் gives you more and more proof of the existence of God, because historically during his period, that was the time where people were like more of this concept of no God was emerging, and they pretty much established. We even call it in Tamil as Irunda Kalam. That means like it is the period of darkness where people were like running away from the concept of supreme being, the existence of God. They were like doing more, the Tamil literatures were going down almost to extinction, and more of Sanskrit literatures were like emerging, and the Sanskrit language were like getting in power. So ஞானசம்பந்தர்'s period was when he gave a comeback for the Tamil literature and the concept of God. So throughout his song we can see he speaks about, he gives you proofs of the existence of supreme being. There is a supernatural power which is like much powerful than us, beyond our control, you know. He's the one who's like guarding us, he's the one who's planning us. He is actually, with him we can find the purpose of life. Why are we like born in this world? Why are good things are happening? Why there's bad things are happening for us? What's our mission? What's our aim? Where are we heading? What's death? What's after death? If you talk about reincarnation, why is it happening? And all sort of things, you know. So that's the period. So throughout his song he emphasizes the existence of God, and the second thing he talks about is, who is God? What is God? So he says, he claims God is nanmai porul, which means God is, he only does good. God means love, and he is like working, because he have this omnipotential, he's omnipotential. He just, okay fine, he's just helping the souls to get elevated and like get rid of the ignorance or the darkness which has been like which has covered the soul, or which is like blocking the soul from a clear vision. So this is what now ஞானசம்பந்தர் is keep talking. So in this song what we are learning is, you know, we're gonna look at the characteristics of God. The relevance of this song to this time is, during our daily life, even good things happen, bad things happen, one thing is for sure, we will let go of God. You know, if not for, you know, Sir A.R. Rahman, when he got his Oscar, he said, Yalla pugalam iravanukku. If just because he said it, a lot of people now, you know, when you achieve something, or if you ask somebody to give a speech, they probably go like, yeah, ella pugalum irevanukke, thanks to my wife, thanks to my mother, thanks to my this, thanks to me myself, because it's without my effort probably nothing is gonna be done, or like nothing is, you know, this entire, I am so entitled for this achievement because of my very, very hard work, you know, this kind of things. But that's like when good things happen, we ditch God. We literally ditch God, okay? Until before the achievement happens, you're probably like begging God, please God, I've done everything that I possibly could, I just need you by my side to get things done. Then once it's done, we just ditch God if it's happy. Say for example, there's like simple things, you know, even death, I find it simple. I would label it simple, okay, I won't find it simple, but I will label it simple because everybody goes through death. Every house has death. Losing somebody is normal, but still we will be like, if for example, if my dad passed away, the immediate reaction of a soul would be like, for a person to be is like, you know what, the God is so not thankful, you know, I broke so much of coconut, I did so much of puja, I spent so much of money on puja, you know, and you know, I learned so much of Devaram, I just sang Devaram for 24/7, can you believe that? And yet God has to give me this. How not thoughtful he is, like so unthoughtful, ungrateful person. We always think like all the coconuts we break, all the saris that we bought for Ambal, whatever Devaram that we sang, it's going to benefit God. And even at that point, something goes wrong with you, just ditch God. You know, he didn't help me, I don't need him. So you just go like that. So either it's good thing or bad thing, one thing is for sure, as long as you are in this human body and you are in this world, definitely gonna ditch God. But Thirunyanasambanthar saying, no, train yourself, hold on to God, no matter what happens, how hard the situation gets, you fall on the ground, you can't wake up, still hold on to him, because he will give you a reason why we should hold on to him, because he is the omnipotential. If he's giving you that, that's the best thing. That if you have not watched my another video, a Devaram called Nandudayane, probably you can see here, I will leave a link, or you can find the link in my description box, or you can also like check out my playlist for Devaram and its significance, you will find it there. There he talks about it, why God is only Nanmai Parval. So let's just put all that aside. Now we are coming back to this song. Before we start this song, all we have to think is we're gonna look at God's character, so that we can build, or we can take much more reasons to hold on to God no matter what is the situation. Alright, so let's start. So the first phrase he says, Veṇkāṭu nuthalaanum. Kan means eyes, kaattu means showcase, nudal means your forehead. So like a person who showcases, or who has eyes on his forehead. If you Google the entire world and every deity, we already know that only Lord Shiva, or the Supreme Being Shivam, has eyes on his forehead. So this eyes on his forehead literally gives you it symbolizes of a concept. The concept is God is the all-knowing. So his wisdom is his omni-wisdom. Can I say omni-wisdom? He's like all-knowing, okay? I'm so sorry, you know, in Tamil we have a word, it's called perarivu. Perarivu means like he's the greatest wisdom, okay? He has the greatest wisdom. And then from the perarivu, if you look into the Sastra books, the philosophical books of Saivites, we can see like they would say like 8 special characteristics of God, and among this you will have this perarivu, which is divided into 2. Probably, you know, I'll find the word and I'll put it here. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm just going to try to describe it, but then for your information, definitely I'll just put the word here, right? Forgive me, I can't really remember those words. I have to get used to it. I'm so sorry, okay? So this perarivu, which is like the great wisdom, or it is like the all-knowing, okay? It divided into 2. God's knowledge has been said as two components. The first one is, he is Iyarkai Unarvinan. Basically it means like he naturally knows. Typical translation, direct translation, this is what it means. He typically knows everything. He naturally owns it. He naturally owns wisdom. Alright, so that means like, you know, for us we have to read something, we have to study something, probably hear from the learned, all those sort of thing, you know. We gain knowledge. For him, he doesn't need to gain knowledge because he's already have all the knowledge by himself naturally, so he owns it. He doesn't need to learn anything. So is he going to learn about souls? No, he doesn't. Does he need to learn about Agalya? No. Does he need to learn about you? No. He knows it all by himself, okay? He just naturally knows. And then another component, another type of a knowledge he has is he has a mutrarivu interval. This is the word, I don't know. So here he knows it, he knows what happened, what will happen, and how it will happen. But for me to like explain it directly, it's just like he doesn't need to experiment with you to see like, okay, let me give 1 million to you and see how would you react about it. And if it were, say, like, just say, okay, this is just example, let's say if I given you 1 million and I were to give you the second time, even I look at the pattern how you spend the 1 million the first time around, can I guess what would you do with it the second time? I won't. But God, he knows it all, he owns it. He doesn't even need to like check you out, experiment with you, test you. Okay, I give you such a bad situation now, how would you react for this? He doesn't need to do that because he already know. That's why his knowledge is complete. Mutrarivu means it's a complete knowledge, it's a whole knowledge. It's not like constructively learning something or like that. He doesn't need all that. He just has his knowledge like at whole, right? So like he has these two. So this is assurance for us, like if something is happening to us, like some situation we are put into, the situation looks tough or the situation looks way too nice, God knew it. He knows how I would react at this very moment, and this is the best for me. That's why he puts me through that, right? So that is the verse which talks about his eyes on his forehead. Then goes, then it follows kanal kaattum kayyanum. Kanal means fire, kaattum shows, kai is hand. So there's a hand which holding fire. So what does this fire means? This fire means God is destructor, yeah. And this destruction can go in two ways. First is like he destructs everything. First, because he knows everything and he wants to like get us away, get rid of our ignorance, he puts us into this birth. He gives body. So every time your experience is over from this body, he eliminates our body. He gives you a different one. Same, now until 20 years old, I was like such a rich person. Right after 20, I fall down on the ground and I have no money. So at that point, God thought that God knew the wealth is not gonna help me to gain knowledge, so he wiped it off. He destructed it. He gave me something new. So this is how God been like, as it's not really like the destructor. That means like he's just gonna like kind of come and like hunt for the souls. You know what I mean? He's not like the evil destructor. He's gradually, literally every second he's destructing something from us. He's discarding something from us when the experience is over. If you already learned, it's like this, you know, like we go to primary school, we learn books from there. Once you're done with standard 1, you're not going to keep holding on to that standard 1 books and going to standard 2. You're going to discard it and then you will be introduced with your standard 2 books, right? Similarly, God discards unwanted things from our life, discards even our body if we don't need that body at that time, and he gives you a different body that for the next round. You know what I mean? So that's how he's been destructing. Another way is he is destructing our ignorance. At some other places in Devaram, they say like God been showered, like he's like being like that's like holy ash falling on him. Thirunyanasambanthar, it's been like just put on his body. That also like relates with this. What we say is God destructs, he burns down our ego. He gets rid of our internal evilness. He get rid of this bondage. Bondage is the word that Saiva Siddhantam refers, so I'm using that word. So like he burns our ignorance and it falls as ash on him. So I can tell you the song Kangalan Pusum Kavasa Thirunyanasambanthar. They quote it like that, right? In many places, I'm just quoting 1 or 2 for you, you know. So that's the second thing that he's been destructing. He burns down our ignorance for us to experience the eternal bliss, the perennial bliss which he has. But for now, because this bondage or the ignorance is like manipulating us, it has like just covered us so thick, you know, the covering, the how would you even say that, the the shell is so thick around us that we can't even think out of it. You know, we are like set into, like we are put into such darkness where like we can't see past it. For us to like go follow, surrender, the only way that we can look past it is for us surrendering to God, the Supreme Being Shivam, where he makes, after some time we will know what is the effect of this evilness, effect of this ignorance, and we ourselves will like move out of it. God will help us to get elevated from this darkness, and we will join him in his perennial bliss. That's what we call spiritual bliss as well, right? So that. Then he says, Veṇkāṭu muruvanum. Though I say he's a destructor, don't you think he is so harsh? He has a female, he has mother goddess like in half of his body, the left hand side, you know. His mother goddess symbolizes love, so he's not the destructor, but he's also with so much of love. His concern is us with our ignorance. So his purpose is only one thing. He just wants us to experience this perennial bliss, and for us to like experience the perennial bliss, we have to get out of this darkness. So in order for that, with a lot of love, he's doing the destruction, with a lot of love, because he was also all-knowing, so he knows exactly what to do with you for us to get out of it. He's so lovely, you know. He's like mother-like. In Thevaram they say Tayinum Sala Parindu. He's like more loving than a mom, you know. So that's that part. Then they say Veṇkāṭum Sadayanum. Pirai means crescent. Kātum shows Sadai his dreadlocks, they are his dreads. So he has a moon on his dread. If you don't know the moon, the story about moon, again I'm gonna leave you a link here, or like probably a link down my description box where you can go and see what is the story with the moon in detail. So here Pirai literally means every time when you see Pirai on Lord Shiva, Supreme Being Shivam, we remind ourselves, like, because he's so merciful, he's so like motherly, he's so loving, even we do mistakes, he has all heart to forgive us, and he will forgive us if we are genuinely guilty of what we have done wrong, if we understood what has gone wrong, right? Then he says Paṇkāṭum Misayanum. He shows all the musical insights, he gives you tunes, you know, because yeah, see, now I'm talking to you. When you learn this Thevaram, you know, for us to feel so grateful to God, to feel like God has done so much of things for me, in order for me to get away from darkness, he doesn't get anything in return. He is so like, he is extremely blissful, he has the perennial bliss, he has no need to take all the effort and come and help us. Just because he is so merciful, he decides to help us. And when he, you know, for us to even know that he's helping us, what is the purpose of our life, what is this darkness, how did he even get caught to us, you know, how to get out of it, what are the ways, everything, we have to come back to Thevaram or the Sastras, you know, the 14 Meganda Sastras. So for you to come back to this text, it's you know, that's why like even for the primary school students or like the preschool students, they always use songs to like make them understand things, right? Similarly, God wants us to surrender to him so that it will help us to get out of the darkness. And in order for that, God also gives you music where we can soften our heart and surrender ourselves to him. Yeah, I say God is love as a speech. If you were to listen to the song, they're also going to impact you in a different way. Music has a lot of tremendous effect on people, you know, we know that, right? There's only 7 notes, there's only 7 notes, and these 7 notes, patterns of these 7 notes can create like, you know, even sometimes we listen to Chinese song and we start crying. Sometimes we listen to some Tamil songs, we don't even understand the song, but sometimes we feel so happy, and some Korean song can make us feel so passionate. Music has its own language to make us feel what we should feel, right? So God introduced, it's not like somebody comes one day and then they start composing some music and we are feeling all the emotion. God is the first guru who taught how to rhyme it, right? How to arrange the notes for us to experience all this. So he does that too, and that's part of his mercy, right? Then they say Veṇkāṭum Puyalanum. Payir means like plants, or you also can say, for example, like a paddy peel or something. Any plant, for its growth, it's very much key, it should have rain. So Veṇkāṭu, puyal means usually like we also say it's like storm, but puyal here means because Tamil has like one word has different meaning. So here puyal means the clouds, the rain clouds. So God comes as God's grace comes as rain to grow the plants, to grow the souls out of this darkness, to elevate the soul out of darkness. He pours his mercy onto us to make us develop and elevate and like mature, to get ripen and prepare ourselves to join the perennial bliss, you know. So that's what he says here, Nuthalaanum. And Thiruvalluvar does an excellent job. He writes a adhigaram called paṇs, which talks about rain source. Though like a lot of people see it as a rain, it's a adhigaram for rain, but the topic it's basically, if you look into it in depth, Thiruvalluvar talks about how God's grace is the source, or that's like the base factor. Then lastly he says Veṇkāṭil uraivanum. Veṇkāṭil uraivanum means, we all know the Supreme Being is such an abstract. He has no name, he has no figure from in his primitive stage, you know. So for souls, we have such incapability to understand abstract. You see, if you have a friend who is physically there and you have versus a friend that you have virtually, who you have never seen and he's just there, the bond is going to be much lesser, weaker compared to the person who is physically beside you, right? So that's how God is such an abstract, and it's very, very hard for soul. It's incapable. We are not potential enough to understand an abstract energy. So God, with all his mercy again, takes different forms and he gives you different choices, and he comes and resides in every temple throughout the globe, throughout the cosmos, including every other planet, if there were, you know, if there's temples in other planets that we have not discovered, you know. He comes and just waits there. Have you ever thought about it? Like, if I were to wake you up every day 4 a.m. and start pouring cold water on your head, how would we feel? God takes it. Think about it. Every day 4 a.m. temple opens and we bring water and we just shower the deity. We do Thirumanjanam. He's just there waiting for us. Come people, please come. Don't go get attached to these worldly things and just, you know, slide away with it. We also have to like look into the exponents. People who were like so godly, like Thirunyanasambanthar, Thirunyanasambanthar, Sundarar, they already seen God. They already experienced the spiritual wisdom, you know. They already attained it. They already experienced at least a bit of the liberation there. Yet they went to temple by temple by temple. They visited temple that time, those days, no road, walking for days. But still they did it. It's not like us now, you know. If we have enough money, we just can fly into India. At least if you don't want to fly into India, we can just drop by on some temples which is like beside our house. There's car, AC car, air conditioned car, good house, posh life, at least easy life. There's a lot of facility, there's bus, there's train. Those times they didn't have all that, you know. But yet Thirunyanasambanthar was 80 years old. He was visiting temples. Thirunyanasambanthar was 3 years old. He was visiting temples. Sundarar, he was visiting temples. They were walking. So here Thirunyanasambanthar says, you know, this one source, like the Supreme Being is like this credential, you know, like he is so potential, he can do a lot of things, he is merciful, he is helping you. Don't you want to go see him? Don't you want to get attached yourself to him? Why do we do networking in modern world, right? We always want somebody, we always want to be friends with somebody who is much better in our life, right? To upgrade our life. If somebody is like super cool as this, Why don't you want to be his friend? Why don't you want to why don't you want to hold on to him? And then lastly he says Veṇkāṭum kodiyane. That means like he has a flag. Flag usually means like victory, right? So he has a flag and it has Vidai, which means like the male cow's picture on it, the logo on it, symbol on it. The male cow always signifies that God is so unbiased and he is so neutral, and he is so in favor of justice. You know, he doesn't take, like for example, many of us think like, you know, I'm gonna buy a Ratna veil. You know Ratna veil, the Murugan's veil, where we put some jewels in it, and the precious jewels, and we just donate it to temple, and we think like, God, I gave you a veil with jewels. And then, or probably just give such a big amount of money to the temple, and we think like, God, I have given you this. Or probably just buy a Kanchipuram sari or something and then go for the puja, and we offer that to God and think like, hello mister, I'm offering a Kanchipuram sari for you, it costs money, you know, so you're gonna do all good to me. So is God really gonna entertain you? No, he's not gonna entertain you, because he's unbiased. You can't like bribe him into something. It goes the same way. Some people think only money is bribe. Even if you think like, you know what, I have studied all the books, every text of Saiva Siddhanta, right? So he's gonna just take care of me. The day I die, straight to Kailash. Is that how it's gonna work? No, it doesn't. We can't bribe God into anything. Only sincere love and surrenderness will bring God closer to us, and the perennial bliss and the liberation will come near us. So that's what here ஞானசம்பந்தர் is saying. ஞானசம்பந்தர் is emphasizing that we should hold on to God no matter what is the situation. Death, bad, good, failure, success, achievement, awards, anytime, any moment in life, we should hold on to God, and that will give us liberation, spiritual liberation, and that will assure us that we are joining the perennial bliss. I'm so sorry, I'm really struggling with words, but I'm helping. Please bear with me. I know my English is not at all good. Just bear with me. I'm really trying. I'm reading a lot nowadays. I'm trying to gather more words in English, but just bear with me. Sooner or later I'll get there. I'm just trying to put out content out here, you know. You can watch my Tamil video. That will have I think better delivery. That will have a better content which is being delivered. I'm really sorry. Hope you don't mind. Just bear with me. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you in the next video. Bye.